Welcome back to Sunken City card preview, review, evaluation, VOD podcast from the Grinning Go Lightforge podcast. I'm ADWCTA.
This is Merps. We are getting to the last two. This is exciting.
This is
Not really.
Warlock. I'll just say this for Warlock, because this may be fast after this. There are no tier B or A cards in Warlock for this expansion. Everything is tier C and under, except for this one card, which is Gigafin, which is like the best card ever created in Hearthstone.
Yeah. So Hearthstone really wants Murloc Warlock to work, and then cue the Mean Girls meme. And it's like, stop trying to make it work. At least in Arena. In Arena, it's not possible. Like it's really tough. But we can talk about the best card, Gigafin. 8 mana, 7/4 Murloc, Colossal +1, Battlecry, Devour all enemy minions, Death Rattle, spit them back out. And then what is a summon? It summons Gigafin's Maul. It's a 6 mana, 4/7 Taunt Murloc as well. Death Rattle, permanently destroy all minions inside Gigafin. Okay, so look. You clear their board. By the way, it's all enemy minions. If you have anything on board,
Yep.
Gigafin doesn't devour those. So you can push. You can devour all of their minions, and then you, using your 5/5 that's out there, can just start hitting face, let's say. Once again, let's think of the worst case scenario for this. The worst case scenario is for 8 mana. So once again, they have like a 4 damage thing, right? So that they can kill. You have played for 8 mana a 4/7 taunt that froze their board for a turn. So for 8 mana, you played a Frost Nova and a 4/7 taunt, and you forced your opponent to spend mana and use a removal. Let's just say it's like a Shadow Bolt-esque, 3 mana, right? I'm gonna say like they spent like 3 mana to kill off Gigafin. That is the absolute worst case scenario here. For 8 mana, you played a 4/7 taunt. You froze their entire board, which typically costs like 3 mana. And then you forced them to spend like around 3 mana and one of their cards to kill off something on your board. And then that's what's left. That is the absolute worst case scenario. And if that sounds pretty freaking good, it's because it is. That's because that is a very good scenario for you to take one of their removals from their hand, and they had to spend mana to do it, right? And then you froze their board, and then you played this pretty decent medium-sized taunt. And then, of course, the best scenario is going to be the vast majority of the time in which you just clear their board and basically establish like 10 mana's worth of minions while twisting nethering them at the same time. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about like putting out 10 mana's worth of stats on top of a twisting nether, but not really a twisting nether because it didn't affect your side of the board. That's what we're talking about with Gigafin. And oh yeah, you had like a rush minion. No, it doesn't work because the thing taunts. It has to be like a spell. It has to be a spell, or it has to be like a fire elemental, right? Like a minion that like just actually
North Sea Kraken is 9
North Sea
mana.
Kraken. There you go. Like North Sea. See, they give us these natural counters all the time. What are we freaking afraid of, right? Not problematic at all. But that's what you're looking at here. Once again, it's one of the colossals that say you got to deal with it right away, like this turn, right away. And if you don't deal with it, you lose.
And if you do deal with it, you also already suffer like a 3 or 4 to 1 card loss.
Remember the worst case scenario I talked about. That is like just the worst.
Oh god. So yeah.
Powerful.
I mean, this is S+ tier. This is I don't know if it's the best one, but there's so many S plus tier ones. This is certainly one of the contenders for the best S plus tier card of these colossals. I mean, the colossals they're complicated. I don't really trust my numbers that much with them because they're too complicated and they intertwine with each other. So if one ends up being, I'm gonna just tell you some of the points that come out. Like these come out to be like 18 points, and to give you an idea, a Yeti is like -1 point, and like a A tier card is 4 points. I'm gonna repeat that. A Yeti is -1 point. A A tier card is like 4 to 7 points or something like that. And these are like 18 points. Remember A tier cards. A tier cards are the good shit. That's like spammy. It's better than Night Captain. So yeah, these S plus tier cards don't really leave a lot of room for you to keep playing this game, even if you have the perfect counters. All right, moving on from Gigafin. Someone in chat just made a nice comment, which is that Gigafin can come out now from Murloc Night, and Grand Tournament is in. So if you have a Murloc Night and you hit that hero power button and you win the lottery, you win the jackpot, you get a 7/4 Murloc.
Now, of course, you don't get the battle cry, but you could still get Gigafin. So yes, you don't get a 4-mana.
Dude, do you get the Colossal? No, right? Well. That's basically a battle cry. Or do you actually get the Colossal?
No, you get the Colossal.
Oh, you get the Colossal?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Murloc Knight, hero power 7/4/4/7?
Yeah, you get the... So the Colossal, this is why it's not Battle Cry summon this. It's Colossal plus whatever, which means, to my understanding, and what I've read before matches this, effectively what happens is, however it's summoned, as long as you summon the main body, the other parts come with. It is just, you want to think of it as one card, but it just like, it's so big that it is in multiple portions. But you are summoning the creature, and Gigafin is not Gigafin without like the maul.
Wow. Okay. Let's talk about more normal cards. The C+ card of the bunch, this is their best card of the set that is not Gigafin, is a epic card, so you're still not going to see these. Not a legendary, but you're still not going to see it very much. C+ is decent. It's a 6-mana shadow spell, Abyssal Wave. Abyssal Wave says deal 4 damage to all minions. Give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. So, an Abyssal Curse...
Yeah. This set is all about Murlocs and Abyssal Curses. This is why you're not going to love this for Arena.
Yeah. Abyssal Curses are these cards that you put in your opponent's hands that deal damage to them, unless they pay the mana cost. So it deals 1 damage for 2 turns, and then they can pay 2 mana to get rid of it. But they already take the damage on the first turn, so they can pay 2 mana to get rid of like 1 damage the next turn, which they will not do. They're just going to take the 2 damage. But for each additional Abyssal Curse you put on them, the damage ticks up 1, right? So if you just put a lot of Abyssal Curses on them, they're going to start dying. Okay. So 1 Abyssal Curse is 1 damage per turn, 2 Abyssal Curses is 4 damage, 3 Abyssal Curses is 9 damage, right? Like it adds up. You're going to have to put Abyssal Curses on them, and this is Arena. You're not going to do that. You're going to put 1 Abyssal Curse on them, it's going to do nothing, they're going to shrug it off. But this is still a 6-mana deal 4 damage to all minions card. And that's decent. Like, is that great? No. But it's doable. It has its place as far as a board clear goes.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the C-tier cards. C-tier cards, let's start with the Murloc Void Gill. Void Gill is a 2-mana 3/2 Murloc. Death Rattle, give all Murlocs in your hand +1/+1. Look, you're gonna have some Murlocs as Warlock. Why? Because that's like half the cards that they got in this expansion. So, and they all synergize with Murlocs, and you're just gonna have some. Are you going to have a lot of Murlocs in your hand? No. But it is somewhat likely that you'll have one. And then you get a free +1/+1. After Void is Asheron Scavenger. Asheron Scavenger is a 3-mana 3/4 Murloc. On curve again. Battlecry. Put a Sunken Scavenger on the bottom of your deck. And a Sunken Scavenger is a 3-mana 3/4 Murloc with a Battlecry. Give your other Murlocs +1/+1 wherever they are. You do not want to dredge this one up.
Maybe you do end up creating the perfect Murloc deck. I don't know.
Maybe you do, but this is a C. A very low C. All right, what else is a C? Bloodscent Vilefin. Here's a rare Murloc, 4-mana 4/4. Battlecry Dredge. If it's a Murloc, change its cost to health instead of mana, so you can get it out immediately. By the way, immediately means the next turn, because you're dredging and not drawing, so you only get it the next turn. Unless, because you're Warlock, you can use your hero power to get it this turn. So if you have 6 mana, you can actually get it out this turn. And lose a bunch of health, but good tempo. Okay.
Cool.
What else do we got? We got Zakul, which is the other legendary. 5-mana 6/5. It's already on curve. And then it says, your Abyssal Curses heal you for the damage they deal. Give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. Like as a battle cry.
Fine.
Yeah.
Look, it's all right. You probably don't want a 5-mana 6/5. Like, the curse is a little extra. You're just not doing that much.
You heal yourself for 2. Like, it's not nothing. As a Warlock, healing yourself with your face for 2?
Well, you don't heal the 2 immediately.
Yeah, but they're not going to pay the mana. You're going to heal the 2.
Right, yeah, right. I just want to make that clear. Because when people hear that, they might think like, oh, ADWCTA doesn't know how cards work, which is fair. I think that's a fair assumption. But he's basically saying that's how much, like, it's like people will let it go on for a while, right? Mm-hmm. They won't pay it immediately because they don't want to pay it immediately. So you will heal, maybe, like, while this is alive. All right, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one is Rock Bottom. This one is a D+ card, so this is about where a Yeti is. It's somewhere between a Croc and a Yeti. 1 mana, summon a 1/1 Murloc, then Dredge. If it's also a Murloc, summon 1 more. So, it's probably an insane card and constructed for a Murloc deck, but you don't have a Murloc deck. You have a deck that has, at most, a 1/5 of your deck being Murlocs. So, good luck getting it. If you hit it, great. Especially if you play it on 1 and hit it, because you probably want that Murloc quickly. But normally it's just summoning a 1/1 and then dredging. And dredging is useful, especially on Warlock. You can hero power, right? Get the card immediately if you need some initiative or whatever else, even in the late game. So it has scattered uses, but otherwise it's the 1 mana 1/1. And then there's another card that is a D. So we're getting into the bad card territory now. It's called Dragged Below. 4 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion. Give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. 4 mana.
Shadow spell.
Yeah, Shadow spell. 4 mana, 4 damage. Bad. Alright. So now we're going to get into the real bad cards. You thought those were bad. We're at F+. F+ card is Syracuse Cultist. It is a 3 mana 2/3 Naga. 3 mana 2/3. Battle Cry. Give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. That's how they're valuing Abyssal Curses, by the way. As the equivalent of like 2 stats and an ability.
Yep. Look, I'm guessing you can do I have no idea if curses will be good in constructed
No,
or
there's
not.
no way. There's
But
no
they're
way.
thinking because you have quite a few ways to give curses, and curses are like, the more curses there are, the better I guess it is. Uh but yeah, this is really bad. 3 mana 2/3s are just it's one of the worst stat lines in the game, period. So this is terrible.
Yep. All right. So the last card is an actual F. It is unplayable. It is a Chum Bucket. 2 mana epic spell. Give all Murlocs in your hand +1/+1. Repeat for each Murloc you control. You don't have enough Murlocs to make this do anything.
No, never draft this. You know what? I hope one of you guys makes I hope one of you is able to make a Murloc Agony deck work. I would love to see it in the arena. Let me know. You can tweet at me. Let me know if that ever happens.
Impossible. Totally impossible. I don't care what your drafting is like. You can try it 100 times. You will not get a deck that makes Abyssal curses work.
So yeah.
I think you can make Murlocs work. That is definitely a possibility. You just got to get a little lucky. But there's plenty of Murloc support here, and you're missing some of the tempo Murlocs in the big picture. But if you get a lucky draft, you can have enough Murlocs to support a pretty aggressive Murloc-y Warlock. But you're most likely going to fail trying to do that. But for Abyssal, the curses, 0% chance.
0, you say?
0. Literally 0.
All right. That sounds like a challenge. Anyways, that's Warlock. They are terrible. Like, they are by far the biggest loser in this expansion in terms of overall cards. Like, if you look at some of these classes, look what Rogue got. Like, Rogue didn't get any A cards, but then got a ton of B plus and B cards that kind of have some synergy with each other. It's kind of an exciting time to, look at Rogue and be like, oh yeah, and on top of that, they have Pufferfist as well, which is like their A plus card, right? Their A plus card. So Rogues did really well this expansion. Pretty rare, like really hard to see. And then meanwhile, Warlocks just got absolutely destroyed. They got completely shafted because of this constructed Murloc Agony kind of thing. And every one of their cards tries to go after this. And then you have just one of the best cards ever printed and makes some of the other colossal minions look weak in comparison. Gigafin, but that's it. I don't know. How are you drafting that? Just be good, I guess. Warlock is kind of like a stay away class for now, unless they find someone to adjust it. You have these terrible cards. They're not even like they flooded Warlocks with terrible cards. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out of the gate and they were just by far the worst class. Just really, really bad. Because
there's one class that we haven't done yet.
True. But I will say that man, what a disappointing time. If you enjoy playing Warlocks, really, really crappy cards were introduced.
Yep. There's not much, I mean, here's the thing with Warlock, though, right? You still have Spawn of Deathwing. That card is not going anywhere. So you got that going for you, and that's quite good. You're getting entitled customer back. Abyssal is staying. It's not like there's nothing happening in Warlock. It's just not going to be a very Sunken City kind of deck. And because Sunken City is going to take up a good portion of the normally good cards, you're not gonna have like an amazing deck the way that Warlocks have been able to kind of do. But hey, it's a Warlock, right? Like, out of all the classes, Warlock is the one that can best do pretty much nothing and just stay on curve and end up winning because of their hero power. So, I don't think Warlock's dead in the water, but it is certainly not a particularly fun time to play Warlock, and they are going to be weaker than they were in this meta, or even in most metas, because Warlocks are generally quite good. Here, you're going to see them in the bottom half. All right, that's it for Warlock. Yeah, let's finish this up.
On
Next
to the last one.
Warrior. See you guys there.